Okay, I'm starting the stream. We have Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch haven't responded yet.
Okay.
We may just go with that. Hey guys, it's Bill from the Pennsylvania Rock Show. This is episode number 511. With me tonight is Mick Michaels of Corners of Sanctuary. What's up, Mick?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing well, considering being cooped up in the house.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Hey, before I forget, I do want to mention all the stations. You can find us on, obviously, PARockShow.com. megarockradio.net, 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, rootaroораdio.com in California, altrockradio.ca in Toronto, Canada, xrpradio.co.uk in the United Kingdom, buildascene.com right here in Leechburg, Pennsylvania. That would be me. And I'm sure I forgot somebody because I tend to do that. But once again, it is episode 511, and with me is Mick of Corners of Sanctuary. So, Mick, I was checking out your website while I was setting everything up, and I feel like you guys are probably being affected just like everyone else. But yeah, how has the stay-at-home blown up Corners of Sanctuary?
Well, I mean, besides not being able to play out and having an uncertain future in terms of being able to know when we can start booking shows again or rescheduling shows, that's kind of put a stop on some stuff. However, we're staying as busy as we can. I mean, we're writing some new material. We have some stuff coming out in the coming weeks that we're just going to give away for free downloads to give, people something to do, something to listen to. We're also working on our next album. We're taking advantage of the time, doing a lot of file sharing to get it done and recorded. A few of us have some, setups at home that we can work through some stuff. And then hopefully by the time this is all over, we'll have some stuff that we can, send to our guys to finish it up for us. So, with the engineering and the mastering and all. So we're staying as busy as we can, but we've been trying to do some rehearsals through these different apps and stuff, and it's not working out the way that we hope because there's a little bit of a delay
and lag.
Yeah. So we're doing the best we can. We're kind of getting used to that 5 or 6 second delay, and doing what we can, just doing like what everybody else is, and trying to enjoy the time with the family, not eat so much.
that is trying.
Yeah,
That's I've been working in my kitchen, teaching my students direct on Zoom on the internet, and we have an eat-in kitchen, so
right.
So definitely been having that issue.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, with the weather here in PA, it's one day it's super sunny, next day it's like winter again. So we're
there was snow on the ground this morning here on this side of the state.
Oh, I seen it. So,
yeah, I was talking. I think in the last episode, I might have said to Jonna that there's all these people saying in 9 months you're going to see a lot of new babies, and what I'm hoping to see is a lot of new music.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing. I think a lot of people have the good intention to do that. A lot of bands are probably starting that. depending on how long this goes, this may be something that kind of knocks people down a few notches in terms of their spirit, because it's for some people it's getting depressing, it's getting lonely, they feel isolated, so hopefully we do see a lot of new music, because this may be a really good time for people to do some soul searching and really get some great stuff out. At least that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sparked what we're doing here with the live video. I had the stuff, but I hate being on video. So,
Sure.
so I was putting it off. My parents actually bought me the camera for Christmas, and it sat here until March because I was like, no, I don't think I want to be on video. But
Right.
now I'm bored, so I figured out how to do it. And there's a green screen behind me. If you're watching live right now, you will see that the band Corners of Sanctuary is actually on the wall behind me, and you're gonna have to wait to see it, Mick.
I have to wait to see it.
But right now I am trying to get to Facebook to see if anybody's chatting with us, but my internet seems to have bogged down on me just a little bit. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not enough that it screws up our conversation.
Right.
So you were on about 4 months ago, but let's do a little refresher. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about the band?
The band's name is Corners of Sanctuary. We are a traditional heavy metal band in the vein of Judas Priest, Accept, Iron Maiden, that type of stuff. We're actually labeled as the new wave of traditional American heavy metal. That kind of encompasses the new wave of British heavy metal and the early heavy metal that was happening here in the States, like Sabotage, Queensryche. I mean, even Kiss, those type of things. So it just kind of reflects our influences, our roots. This band formed in 2011, and we've been going since then. So we've been pretty busy. We've done some tours. We've been overseas in Europe. We actually were in the UK last month, actually while the travel ban was being set in place. And
you guys just made it home, right?
yeah, we actually, our flight was canceled. Actually, we were getting ready. Actually, we had finished the show. Prior to that show, we heard that there was going to be a possible travel ban starting the coming Monday at midnight. But then we were told that we would be safe because we had a valid passport. We were Americans. We would be able to come back in with a possible 14-day quarantine type of thing. So we were like, okay. But by the time we got off the stage and back up into the green room, we received the message that the flight was canceled. And it took us about 27 hours. We scrambled to find another flight. It was sketchy. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it home. We did, thank God. And we were told, the airline told us that the next flight wouldn't go out from Manchester, where we were flying out of, until May 6th. If that
Yikes.
flight would yeah. So we unfortunately had to, we only got a third of the tour done. So we had to can the rest of it, unfortunately. But, we didn't. It's not that the UK is a bad place to get stuck. It's just that it would have been costly.
It's not Philly.
It's not Philly, and we wouldn't have been with our families and all. So we did the smart thing and came home.
Are there plans to reschedule that?
Yes, we have invites to come back to all the places, and then we're working on some. Right now, we have some tentative dates scheduled for February 2021. So we will see if we wind up building the whole tour, the whole reschedule tour at that time. So we're definitely, we promised to go back. We were only there 4 days, but we were having a great time. People were great. They treated us really well, and we had really been looking forward to doing this. So we promised we'll go back and we'll finish what we started and hopefully be able to expand on it. So yeah,
cool. Those of you that are on the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, if you jump on Facebook and go to my personal page, bill.damiano will get you there. You can ask a question of Mick if you'd like, and I'll try and keep an eye over there. I make no promises that I'll remember to look over there, but I'll try. I have it on the second screen over to the side here. So you sent me a new track, The Raid, with
Yes.
the subtitle of Forgotten Country. And then I believe the album is called Cause for Country.
Yeah, for Cause and Country.
For Cause and Country.
Yeah, a little tongue in cheek,
What can you tell me about that track?
Well, I co-written the song with our drummer Mad T. T's actually he's a big history buff. He's got a master's in history, and he does a lot of writing and essays, and it's about World War One, and more from the British standpoint in terms of what their battles and stuff were going through. So that's basically what the song's about. It's got a whole war vibe to it. I mean, a lot of the songs that we do write have that battle war type feel, and then underlining with overcoming certain obstacles, maybe becoming a better person from it. So anyway, that's what the song is about, and I think that it was one of those kinds of songs that kind of wrote itself. Like the music and the words were coming together, and it just seemed like it fit. Like we didn't have to do too much sanding and manipulating to get things to work together. So it was kind of cool. And as the band seems to progress, we're doing more and more of these type of collaborations among the members, which I think is a benefit. And because early on I was doing a lot of the writing on my own, which I'm okay with too, don't get me wrong. But I think that it adds more depth to our songwriting when more people get involved. Or, I mean, my grandmother used to say, too many chefs spoil the soup, and that could be true, absolutely. But I think that is more towards people that may not necessarily have a direct connection to the band. Like when outside writers are brought in or something like that, because people are looking for a specific hit or a specific kind of sound that this particular writer seems to bring in. I'm not a real big fan of that, because I don't think that anybody knows what a band really needs than the band themselves, right? Like, because they should have a vision, they should have an idea of where they want to go, what they want to sound like, what they want to do. And if they don't, then really and they're relying on someone else, then it's just manufactured. It's not something that you can maintain. So I like to keep everything in-house as much as possible. So it's been a great thing. The other cool thing with writing with T is that he also plays guitar. So we're able to fool around with some different riffs if he has some ideas. Working on our new album, we have some material that he actually wrote the bass riffs for, the basic riffs, I should say. And then we just kind of we worked them and massaged them, made them more Corners of Sanctuary like, and then I had to kind of make them so that I could play them within my style. He has a slightly different style than I do, so you try to work that together. But we did a lyric video for that song, and the lyrics were like T and I had the idea, like if they come on screen as if the soldiers were writing home about the war, so they're kind of like typing out, and then there's some larger text that happens during like the pre-chorus and chorus and all. That's more like what's happening with those who are in charge of the soldiers, barking out orders and things like that. So we tried to create, I don't know if people picked up on that, but that was something that, we had suggested when they were putting it together, and, they went with it, and we're pretty happy with it.
If I talked to a lot of bands, but if I remember correctly, you guys recorded a video in Germany. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, we did.
Do you have...
As a matter of fact, the 4 days that we spent in the UK, we actually managed to, when we knew that we had to go home. Now we were scheduled to shoot a video later in the week. Once we were kind of acclimated and we didn't look like we were being dragged by the plane. So we figured that way. But within the last 24 hours that we were there, we actually filmed a video. It was a quick shoot, and we did the best that we could. But that actually premieres tomorrow. It goes out tomorrow, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's more of a production style video, real quick edits and stuff like that. Unfortunately, because of our time restraints and the issues that were going on with where you could go and where you couldn't go, we were kind of locked into a single location, but we made the best of it. But we also shot in pieces of the 4 days of travel that we have another video coming out. Two videos are actually premiering tomorrow, one for Victoria and one for Sandstorm Salvation.
Will they be on YouTube?
They will be, well, tomorrow they're premiering on, we're part of something that's called the Lockdown Rockdown. And sorry, my light went off. And so we're premiering them during that, like it's going to be a Facebook, YouTube live stream, but
Okay.
then they'll be available after that. Both on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay. So if it's okay with you, I will include both of those on the show notes when this goes out next Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great.
Awesome. So you're debuting them basically on the same way we're doing things right now, where everything is live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like, this for a band right now, either doing interviews or being able to provide some content that somebody could stream, whether it was pre-recorded or not, is the best way that we can present ourselves and connect with the people, via our music. It's no different than doing a show, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the best that we can do.
Do you guys have any plans of trying to do a live streaming concert, or maybe individuals playing stuff acoustically?
Well, one of our reasons we were trying to do those app rehearsals is because we were hoping to do like a whole acoustic set. Our current singer now lives in Chicago, Illinois, so it's a bit of difficult for us to get together, like just in a drop of a hat. So we're trying to figure out a way. We were hoping that we could do something like that. Worst case scenario, you may have just the rhythm section just be, like in a rehearsal environment. You just kind of get some listen in on how we butcher things before we get to the stage. You find out how dumb we really are.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and we're going to listen to two tracks. We're going to listen to Corners of Sanctuary, The Raid, for God and Country, and then we're also going to listen to Silk 9, Find My Way. Those of you that are tuned in on the live streaming portion of this, you're going to have to tune in to the radio show or the podcast to hear the songs. Mostly because YouTube and Facebook don't like when you play music, and they will mute the volume from the video, and we don't want to lose our content. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring us back in like we heard the music, and we're just going to continue on. Okay, so you just heard Corners of Sanctuary and their song The Raid, for God and Country, off the, is it an EP or a full length?
No, it's an EP. It's got 5 songs on it.
Off the EP, For God and Country. And then we also heard from Silk 9 and their song Find My Way. If you're just tuning in with me, is Mick Michaels of Corners of Sanctuary out of Philadelphia. And we've just been talking about how the current situation in the world has affected the band, and some of their plans, and that they have some new videos coming out, which you'll be able to check out on the show notes. And there, you're kind of caught up.
Yep.
So now we get to that portion of the show where I'm going to ask you some of my crazy questions.
Okay.
It's a little more difficult the second time around because I don't remember what I asked you the first time.
I don't remember what I said, so it's all new to both of us.
Well, there you go. If I'm going to put a twist on this one, that way if I asked it, it doesn't matter because it'll be different.
Okay.
If I was flipping through my social studies book, I don't know, 10 years from now, and we get to the pages about what happened across the world because of the coronavirus, and there was a section in the book about the band Corners of Sanctuary and this time in history, what do you think that section would say about the band?
Stupid Philly band almost gets stuck in UK. I, I don't know. It's one of them things you hope that people remember you for the quality of your music and the ability uh, through that music to touch people's lives in some way. I mean, that's kind of a grandiose idea. If the fact that we've been mentioned in the book, that's good enough for me. It doesn't, I don't care what they say, because that means somebody somewhere remembered us. And being that there's so much music going out and there's so many bands and there's bands that just people have forgotten about. To be remembered even in this even in a subline, I think would be fantastic. That would say a lot. That means that we made a connection to somebody somewhere.
Cool. I kind of put a hold on asking this question, and I probably asked it of you the last time, but it's really fitting. And at first I thought that I'd put a hold on it because the timing seemed bad, but the question is, if there was a apocalyptic situation on Earth and only a handful of people survive and one song from every band makes it through that event, which Corner of Sanctuary song should make it through and be part of the new world?
I would say Wrecking Ball. And actually, I think there was either I heard this question before or something was asked like that once before. I say Wrecking Ball because it is a song about kind of punching your way through the challenges, not giving up, making your stand. I mean, even in the face of great odds, and an apocalyptic type of scenario.
It's definitely great odds.
And that's great odds for what we as a people would be used to. So I would say that's definitely a song. I never get tired of playing it. I really enjoy it. It's a fight song. It's a personal fight song.
Okay. If you could sit down on a bench and speak with any musician from the history of the world and just pick their brain, who would you want to talk to and what would you ask them about?
Well, man, that's a good question. I think right off the top of my head, as before you even finish the sentence, I think I'd like to sit down with Paul Stanley and talk with him. The Paul Stanley that you're kind of seeing right now on like some of his home videos that he's doing.
I was going to watch those when I contacted you this morning.
Yeah, I've been enjoying. I've always been I'm a Kiss fan. I Paul Stanley fan. The Paul Stanley, not that you see in some of the in the interview type of Paul Stanley, but I just like the person, and how he got to his level of thinking in terms of I guess part of it is maybe what people dislike about people at that level is that they've achieved a level of acceptance of themselves and the world around them, either the world as it is or the world that they created. And I think there's a level of peace in that many of us struggle to get regularly or maintain or find at all. And if you read his autobiography, you could tell that there was times in his life where he just didn't have that, and he was kind of floundering, even though the persona was way differently portrayed way differently. So I would like to talk about things like that, about that balancing act as an artist to keep pushing through, because in a sense that band experienced their own type of apocalyptic scenarios throughout the 80s, end of the 70s, throughout the 80s, to rebuild themselves. And they take a lot of flack for this and a lot of flack for that. But, I think that there could be a wealth of knowledge there as long as we could maintain that we're both human beings on the same level, and it's just we're talking for a better tomorrow type of thing.
I I met Gene. I have not met Paul. I think that sometimes, especially in the interview situation that you talk about, that Paul is trying to maybe soften whatever Gene is saying and doing.
It's possible, yeah. That's possible.
If someone was going to make a movie about Corners of Sanctuary, what actor would play each of you?
Well, you know what? It's funny. We had prior to the UK, we did we had a photo shoot, and we were going through some of the proofs, and um, um, our our singer Stacy had sent back a message saying, "Hey, listen, is it possible that you could crop Hugh Jackman in to stand in for me?" And I laughed, and all of a sudden we get another picture. It's he put Hugh Jackman's head as Wolverine on top of his. So then our bass player sends one back. It has Stallone as Rambo on it, and now we have two. And I says, well, hell, I might as well. And I was going to pick Paul Stanley, and unfortunately, our drummer never got to that point. But so I don't know. I mean, it's like that. It's like that picture you sometimes see going around on Facebook, like this is what you think you look like, this is what you think other people see you like, or something like that, and then this is what you really look like, and you wind up looking like Carrot Top or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
I wish I had his hair.
Yeah, really,
because I don't have any left.
I look at it like this: I'm not very tall, so anybody that's taller than me, I think, will do a good job.
Well, in the movies, they can make it look like you're taller.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise looks like he's just as tall as everybody else, and he definitely is not.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, but I think Tom Cruise is still taller than I am. So,
well, they've developed the process. They should be able to apply it to you.
Yeah, they should be able to apply it. One of the greatest things. We were at a show. This was a couple years ago, and someone comes up to us and goes, "Man, you look much taller in your pictures." And I started laughing. I just thought that was funny. The other thing about our height too is actually Stacy's our newest member, and he's like 6', 6'1", and the rest of us aren't. When we played in Europe with our previous singer, we got off the stage, and now we were in Germany, and everybody just seemed to be giants compared to us. I mean, literally, if you've seen the Lord of the Rings with the hobbits and the humans, that's kind of what we looked like. Anyway, we come off the stage, and we're putting our guitars and gear off to the side, and the guy comes up to him and goes, "You play like much larger men." And we all look at each other and we're like, "Hey, thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. That was a hell of a compliment." So we took it as such. So even though we're short, we play like much larger men. That's something now that I may get tattooed on my arm or something. So
that should be the title of your next album.
Yes, like much larger. It may be a live album. Who knows?
Before I forget to do this, do you want to share your social media links so everyone knows where they can get a hold of you, and include where they can buy some of your music?
Yep. You can go to our official page at cornersofsanctuary.com. From there, you can actually...
Hold on one second. Which coincidentally is scrolling at the bottom of the video.
Oh, cool, cool. Actually, and from there, you could link to a lot of our social media sites, but you can get our music, some back catalog stuff. There's some free downloads there of music. You can get some links to some videos, find out, when shows will come back, but you can also see the past 3 or 4 years of dates. If, some people seem to like to do that. I don't know. But you can also check us out at Facebook. Facebook.com/Corners of Sanctuary, capital C, capital S. You can check us out on Twitter at COS small n roll. So the COS is capital, small n, roll is capitalized, all of it. Connect us there. Honestly, we don't do a lot on Twitter. It's one of those things, it's just not as our thing. We are on Instagram at Cos Nation Metal. We do put a lot of pictures up there. And I think they're the three biggest. We're on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on LinkedIn if you're a professional of whatever you like to be.
That's where I have my teacher information.
There you go.
Real quick, Christina from the band Shadow Event is trying to comment on the video, but Facebook is not letting me respond. So not much is up, Christina. If you have a question for Mick, go ahead and type it in there. It is letting me read it. It's just not letting me respond to you. We'll see if she gives you a question or not.
Okay.
Let me think. What can I ask you about? If when all of this stay at home and quarantine stuff goes away, a major band comes in and asks Corners of Sanctuary if they would open for them and go out on a world tour, who would you want to tour with?
Judas Priest.
That was fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no, technically I'll tour with anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm excited. Again, kind of like that history, that social studies book. If somebody even mentions us in a small thing, very excited about it. But definitely Judas Priest. I mean, they're the band for me. They're the band that you want to strive to be. If not a first, a second. I mean, I would Kiss. You know what I mean? That would be great. Except, but anybody. Justin Bieber wanted to take us out. We'll go.
That would be an interesting mix.
Yeah.
Just another quick shout out. Bill Postal from the band Doppler Effect just popped on. Southern rock band out of the Paulo area, which is maybe 6 miles from where I'm sitting right now. And pretty far from where you're sitting. Couple hours. So I in my classroom online, I gave bonus points to my students in 7th grade if they could tell me where I was. I have a makeshift green screen in my kitchen.
Oh.
And I put up Liberty Hall. And all but one of them got it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, here we go. Here's a question from Christina. She asks, how would you describe your sound, and which cartoon characters would you pick to play your band in a video?
Well, again, our sound is definitely, I think our tagline on the website is the classic sound of, or the modern sound of classic heavy metal. So we're classic heavy metal, traditional heavy metal. And I know that could run the gambit depending on where you come from in terms of your roots. But it's, I've always kind of attributed how we write our music to like a roller coaster. So, I mean, we have the ups and downs, and some are high and some are low, and we take some middle ground. Instead of being all one intensity, we kind of, again, we don't go extreme, but we also we're not so laid back that it's not exciting in a sense. We have traditional vocals, which again, I think then puts us into where they're clean vocals, which puts us into a different category than some of the more modern approach. But again, we don't feel that we have a throwback sound, but that we're not dated. At least that's the way we feel. And I know there's been people that have felt that way as well. So, it's a representation of our roots, of where we came from, the things that we actually want to hear, with a little bit of more of an updated sound. Now, I mean, when Mad T joined us, I mean, Mad T's a little younger than we are, than James and I. James is our bass player. So he was born after the era that we came in at, in terms of where we kind of cut our teeth in music. So he offers something different to the music that propelled us a little bit even further into a modern approach to what our new interpretation of traditional music would be. So I don't know if that really answers you or not, not, but I mean, you know, again, like, I mean, like when people ask you, what do you sound like? We use the term, we use the bands Judas Priest, Accept, Iron Maiden, but we don't really sound like those bands. We have elements of those bands, and we're not afraid to say that because they're our heroes. They're the bands that, we want to be like, but we don't want to do what they're doing. We want to kind of do our own thing. But, is there going to be some crossover in sound and what things may be interpreted as? Yeah, sure. You can't get rid of your influences. You can't get rid of that. What made a difference in your life or anything like that. So I think if you do it in a tasteful way and you're not like just ripping people off, I think that's a fantastic thing.
Before you answer the cartoon question, Sean Donahue just joined as well. He's a guitar player from the band Unbroken Soul. Throw that name out there too. Maybe I'll play those two bands and Doppler Effect. Why not? So we have Doppler Effect, The Shadow Event, and Unbroken Soul. The cartoon thing.
Yeah, well, the cartoon thing. Listen, I would love for it to, like I would want an actor that was like 6 foot and buff to play me. But I mean, it would be cool. Like, I don't know if you remember the Disney Gargoyles.
Yes.
That would be really cool. But I think that they would probably pick for us, probably maybe like the Looney Tunes. We'd have big Daffy Duck, that kind of stuff, because.
That's an awesome answer. I'm gonna have to keep that question, Christina, if that's okay with you. I like that.
That is a cool question. Thank you, Christina.
I think we'll go with one more question and then I'll let you go.
Brother?
Let me see. I think I asked you about an embarrassing thing that happened on stage the last time, so I won't go that route. If you could join a band that you idolized, and not necessarily replace somebody, but just be another new member at it, what band would you want to join?
Judas Priest.
I had a feeling that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, no, I definitely just to listen. I don't even have to do anything great. I could just kind of like chug on an A. Dug, 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 dug. That's good enough for me, man. And then I could just do the rocking thing with the guys. That'd be perfect. That would be just friggin' awesome.
Since you answered that so quickly, I'm going to ask you another question. Okay.
You can see I'm Judas. If you ask me what my favorite album is, I'll tell you it's Judas Priest, Stained Class. So I mean, I'm kind of a one-trick pony here, boy.
All right. So if you were to join Kiss during the time that they're wearing makeup, either the original time or now, what would your makeup be?
That I don't know. That's tough. That I never actually thought of. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. Well, I'll tell you this. Maybe when I was in the '80s, we were going to do a band the theme was going to be based around the whole like the Harlequin clown, and we were going to do the black and white and all that kind of stuff. So maybe something along that lines. I'd probably be more of the clown of the group. So yeah, maybe some kind of clown with some diamonds or something like that.
Diamonds over the eyes.
Yeah. Or one. Maybe do the opposite one with. But didn't they do that? Didn't they? It wasn't that done in Godspell or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but maybe something like that. I'm the clown. the jester.
I've often wondered what the members that were in Kiss that didn't get to wear makeup, how they would answer that question. But
Well, I'm not sure they would even had the like any of us would have had the opportunity to decide on our own. You know what I mean?
yeah, it may have been Gene and Paul telling
Yeah,
them at that point.
right.
I actually just read an article. I can't remember what website it was on, but Bruce Kulick said that he was actually relieved that they didn't ask him to rejoin when they brought Tommy Thayer in, because he didn't want to have to play Ace's guitar exactly the way Ace played it, and he
Yeah,
had no idea what kind of makeup. Like he didn't want to wear Ace's makeup either.
right. Yeah, and if you think about it in hindsight, given the style of guitar that I mean, even when Tommy Thayer was in Black and Blue, you could it was a different playing style than what Bruce was doing. You know what I mean? Like you could tell they were just not different ends of the spectrum, but they were coming at it from different ideas, different concepts. Both to me are great guitar players, but probably out of all the guitar players besides Mark St. John, I mean Bruce was the top of the charts in terms of his technical ability. So it may have actually hindered his playing to play, because Ace had what I like to call a simple, sophisticated playing style, and there was not a lot of notes per se, not a lot of like technical pizzazz, but there was a lot of emotion in it, and he repeated segments over and over again to build up both the tension and the connection to it. So it may have been more of an issue for him to play like that, or it could have been a whole ego thing too. Who knows?
It might have been. He did say
Yeah,
that he was glad that he didn't end up playing, because he ended up being able to play with Grand Funk Railroad in the article.
yeah, that's true too. He's been,
All right, so last comment about Kiss, and then we'll fade off into the afternoon. I usually say evening. I'm not used to this early afternoon stuff. So I didn't actually read the article, but earlier today I came across a link on Facebook that said that Vinnie Vincent is doing packages of signed memorabilia for $9,500.
yeah, that's great.
That's insane.
That is insane. I understand an artist's right to make money on their brand, on their name. I mean, they deserve that, right? But I think Vinny is putting himself in a category that he just doesn't belong. I mean, the guy's a great guitar player. He really is. He's demonstrated that he's a great songwriter. That he has all his chops, but there's too much conflicting information about his personality and his dependability. But besides all that, it's not like he's Eric Clapton or a resurrected Jimi Hendrix or someone who was, someplace else. Like, yeah, he was part of Kiss for a short time, but Kiss was still bigger than he was. I mean, the brand of Kiss was much bigger than he was,
And that was proven by Vinnie Vincent's Invasion too. That
yeah,
they didn't stick
yeah,
around long.
right. And I mean, honestly, with all of, I mean, like again, I'm a huge Kiss fan, but all of the members had done something either outside of Kiss when they weren't with the band anymore, or you know, during the downtime of Kiss. Though all the stuff was good, nothing ever rose to the level that Kiss did, right?
Yep.
So that says something about that particular unit, about that what was happening there, that it didn't necessarily transfer to the individual by themselves. And I know there's a lot of talk. Well, they did this and this did that, and this. Yeah, okay, but you're still not. The numbers still don't add up to what Kiss as a whole, as a brand, as a band, we were able to do. So for Vinnie Vincent to do that, I think what I think he's taking advantage of fans. I mean, and we're all fans. I mean, like, and I think it diminishes or detracts from what he did do, and it just adds to the to that legend of him being a bigger douchebag, if I could say that. Then I mean, he's actually aiding himself in that,
Yeah.
and
He
and everybody's got a trumpet to blow and a soapbox to stand on. I get it. I understand. Everybody's a rock star. Everybody deserves to be on top. I get it. But
he
some
disappeared for how long, and then all of a sudden he showed up, and
yeah, he's
he,
showing
he
up.
maybe should have stayed away.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you would have
or
think that
or
the
maybe he needs a
just would have humbled
publicist.
him a little bit. Yeah. I guess he wants his payday, and and I guess he wants to get it in short order, right? He figures he sells a few of them, or maybe he's in debt. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But I think that's absurd. I think what a lot of artists charge for, honestly, and again, I don't want to keep you, but we had opened up. I'm not going to mention the band. We had opened up for a known band. Um, we were really excited about it. Like as musicians, these guys were a band that we would want to just dissect in terms of like you're playing, right? I
Hmm.
mean, the guitar player was one of my heroes coming up, and I still consider him when asked, what guitar players um, inspired you, and his name is always included. Anyway, most of the time when we play with the bigger name acts, they take the time, they say hello to you, shake hands, they don't mind signing autographs, because you're usually backstage with them. Um, these guys wanted us to pay just so you pay, just so that they would sign something if you brought it. Not to mention that you would pay to have them sign something that you bought at the merch table. And I was like, dude, you know what, man? I don't care who you are. I mean, I'm here playing just like you are. I realize that you are the bigger name, but I sold tickets to the show too, and we were kind of bummed out about it. It kind of really tarnished how you feel about your heroes, man. Right? And usually that's what happens with heroes, right? They come crashing down when you find out they're just regular people.
Hmm.
I think that there's plenty of people out there. There'll be a number of people that will pay for it, absolutely, because they want to say they paid for it. But I think that the artists that are because everybody's not making the money that they used to, and the industry's changed, blah blah blah. We've all heard it. Um, it's just I think that taking advantage of the fans is a horrible thing to some degree. I mean, I'm in a weird position because I'm a player. Uh, but I'm a very low level player. Like, again, I could disappear tomorrow and I think most people wouldn't even notice. But at the same time, I'm a fan too. Like probably a fan first, more so, and I know how as a fan I would like to be treated. And I know our particular band, Corners of Sanctuary, tries to maintain that for when we do meet people on the road and all that, because you never know where people are coming from their day. I mean, there's a lot, everybody has good days, bad days, middle days. You don't know what they're going on in their life, like what we're all dealing with right now. So, you try to give a little bit, and if it really comes down to the difference of a few dollars, I mean, is it really it for, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not in the same position as these guys, so I don't know. I'm just speaking as a regular person, but I think it's crazy what Vinny's doing. I
I
think it's
agree. I I didn't even have to pay Gene for his signature. I did have
uh,
I did have
yeah.
to have his book because he was only signing his book, but
Well, yeah, I understand
I
that.
was I was buying the book anyway. So
Anyway, right? Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it wholeheartedly. I absolutely. Um, yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Listen, in today's world where things are, hit or miss for people, and unemployment is still whatever, and there's people starving, and you got somebody asking for $9,000 for an autograph and some other gutsy stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it.
but, hey, well, I do want to thank you for coming on episode 511 for me, Mick.
Brother, thank you.
And just to remind everybody, the show is released every Friday. This episode will air on the 17th. And then on the 24th, we have Neil Donnelly coming on from the Drunk Rock Show. On May 1st, we have Dan Stonerook. The Art of Burning Bridges on May 8th, as of early this morning, about 3 a.m. I booked that one. Unbroken Soul, who we mentioned a little bit ago because Sean was in watching the video. Meat Hook, the owner of the Meat Locker recording studio in Butler. That's his band, Meat Hook.
Nice.
On the 29th, we have Nox Emesis. And then Christina, who asked a cartoon question and what you sound like, her band, The Shadow Event, will be on June 5th.
Awesome.
So make sure you check us out each and every Friday. Go to the different stations that support us, support all the bands we play. Get out there once we're allowed to get out there and go see some shows.
Absolutely.
And we'll catch you next week. Thanks again, Mick.
Thank you, brother. Take it easy. Stay safe, everyone.